Hi, this is Parker Kligerman, driver number 77, Toyota Camry for Kyle Busch Motorsports, and you're listening to CLNS Radio, home of Internet and Sports Talk Radio.
This is a CLNSradio.com special edition broadcast.
Good afternoon, racing fans, and welcome to today's special edition broadcast with NASCAR Nationwide Series driver Parker Kligerman. My name, of course, is Chris McCarthy, and alongside me today in the virtual studio is CLNS Radio's NASCAR columnist Adam Niemeyer. Joining the two of us today is Parker Kligerman, driver of the number 77 BanditChippers.com Toyota Camry for Kyle Busch Motorsports in NASCAR Nationwide Series. Parker, thanks for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having us on.
Parker, this is Adam, and glad you could join us here. I just got to ask you one quick question right off the bat. You were involved in that really bad last lap crash on Saturday. Can you just walk us through real quick what happened through your eyes and the aftermath of that incident?
Well, I mean, to say I was involved probably isn't exactly right because I honestly didn't get much damage from it. Myself and the whole number 77 BanditChippers team had put ourselves in position to win that race there on the last lap. Obviously, myself and the 99 of Alex Bowman were coming through 1 and 2 to take the lead, and we got blocked and we got separated. So instead of taking the lead, we actually got separated and started to fall a little bit back. And as I came to the checker there, I guess obviously whatever happened with the 7 and the 22 caused a wreck, but all I could see with the way the sun is and, at the end of the race, your windshield is covered in speed dry and oil, and just it's tough to see at the end of the race. All I could see was a bunch of smoke, and when you see smoke, you just look for the holes where there isn't smoke because that usually means you're going to avoid the wreck. And so coming to the checkered flag, as I said before, you just kind of go full throttle and hope that works out, and we were able to find a hole. Sadly, obviously, with the 32 and the whole situation there with going in the catch fence and having, injured some of our fans, that's first and foremost probably the most frightening thing of that wreck. But from my end and my view, my eyes, I had no idea what had happened until I pulled onto pit road and surveyed the damage from pit road and saw that the catch fence had been taken down or not even taken down, but, badly abused. So, I don't really have any cool stories or first-hand remarks of a car flying in this, from my point of view. I really couldn't see it. I just I saw a hole and went for it, and for a while I thought we'd finish second.
All right. Let's talk about you getting together with Kyle and Kyle Busch Motorsports. Just kind of walk us through how that happened. I think you announced it in the late December. And how excited are you that you've been working with Kyle and that you get to work with him this year?
Well, it kind of came about halfway through last year. Obviously, with all that was going on with myself at Penske Racing and Brad Keselowski Racing, it became apparent that there wasn't a future for me at Penske Racing in a lot of ways. There just wasn't going to be an avenue to getting a full-time nationwide ride. They weren't prepared to, commit to a young kid instead of, the cup drivers. So, I was looking, we kind of decided that wasn't the way to go, to stay there, and at the same time, being a part of Brad Keselowski Racing, which is an avenue to get to Penske Racing for some, it became apparent that we weren't going in the direction we wanted to go. And so with all those things connected, I felt like, a change was needed, and I think Brad did too. And so I was out in Chicago where I'd done my last Penske race in the 22 discount tire nationwide car. When I qualified 5th or 4th, I can't remember, 1 or 2, and I qualified next to Kyle. And I asked him, we had to ride around on the back of a pickup truck, and I said to him, hey, look, I'm looking for, I'm 5th in points, and at the time the number 18 truck team was struggling. And I said, hey, look, is there an opportunity there? Are you guys thinking of making a change? And he kind of beat around, didn't really know exactly, but at least he got the dialogue started, and I started talking to Rick Wren, who was the general manager at Kyle Busch Motorsports, and through those two avenues, we started talking about maybe getting the truck ride. Well, that never worked out. And from there, at about, I'd say, August or September area, Rick Wren came to me and said, what do you think about Nationwide? And I think that's what got it started. And obviously an opportunity like that only comes once in a lifetime. And so for a young driver, I kind of had to take it by the horns and hope that it worked out, and sure enough it has. And I'm just really excited to have this opportunity with Kyle and Kyle Busch Motorsports. And Kyle's been a really inviting person into the organization in terms of, when you think of Kyle, you think of a winner. When you think of Kyle Busch Motorsports, you think of a winning organization. And he wants us to win. And, he's putting all he can into it, and, that's all you can hope for a situation for a young driver.
You get out of Daytona, top 5 finish. How important was it for you and a new team to start and get off on right foot, get that good finish with such a deep field running for this year's nationwide title?
Well, it's huge for gelling quickly. At any new time you come into something so new, you hope that you just want to get gelled as quickly as possible. One of the funniest things was in practice, I got out and I have a brand new helmet this year from Bell Helmets. I've got new seats from Butler Built Seats, new cars I received at Kyle Busch Motorsports, a new team. My crew chief Eric Phillips is the second winningest crew chief in the truck series, but it's his first year crew chiefing nationwide. My interior guy is new. My car chief is new. And in all reality, there's only one guy that stayed over from the nationwide team last year into the nationwide team this year. So it's a brand new team and a lot of new things. There's a lot of new there. And I got out and turned to my interior guy after our first run at Daytona and said, there's a whole lot of new here. So it's just, it's a lot to take in. At the same time, as you said, this is a really competitive field this year in nationwide. That's probably one of the most competitive in the last 10 years. And so for us to go out there and run as well as we did at Daytona, qualify well, run up front all race, obviously lead a lot of laps at the end of the race, and be leading Daytona with 10 to go is a pretty cool sight in itself. To come out there with top 5 or my first top 5 in nationwide is it's a huge thing to get the gel going, get us moving forward, and instantly it proves your team that, maybe they have a driver that can do a good job, and I've got a team that can do a good job, and so you start to believe in each other right away. And when that happens, when you get to the tougher days that will inevitably happen throughout the 33-race season, you'll be more prepared because you already believe in each other.
The Nationwide Series, as you talked about, as I mentioned earlier, it's pretty stacked this year with a lot of good drivers and guys that have Cup experience. Elliott Sadler, Brian Vickers, Regan Smith. You're up against guys like Austin Dillon. What is that like to be up against these guys who have made it at the top of the sport and are going to make it really competitive and really kind of difficult on you?
Well, you said it best. You look at the field right there. You've got 3 guys that have all won Cup races before in the last few years. You have 2 guys that have made the chase in Cup. And when you think of at the Cup level, when you think of a productive driver, it's someone that can make the chase. It's just like an NFL quarterback. An NFL quarterback is not judged on his ability in the regular season. It's judged on his ability to get to the playoffs. And so that's just the same with the Cup. So when you have just 2 drivers there that they've made our version of the playoffs, that's scout drivers right there. Put them in a top team like Joe Gibbs Racing or Junior Motorsports, which is going to have a huge resurgence this year with their new affiliation, renewed affiliation with Hendrick Motorsports. A lot of that's going to add up to being a very, very competitive situation over there. On top of that, you have a bunch of young kids that have come into the series and been able to garner full-time rides. And so I just think it's going to be a real microcosm of what you'll see in Cup in the coming years. And I think Brian Vickers said it best when he said, when he looked at the 02 and 03 and 01 seasons of Nationwide, you saw a bunch of drivers that you became your current Cup stars. I think this season right here is going to be your next crop of Cup stars. The kids that come out of this series will be in the Cup series in the years to come and definitely fighting for Cup championship.
So you're one of these young guys. I've got to ask you, who are some of your big role models in NASCAR? Who are the guys that you've learned from, and what is kind of the advice that you've gleaned from them over the years?
Role models. Growing up, I was a huge Formula 1 fan, and I actually became a NASCAR fan when it became apparent I wasn't going to make it to Formula 1 without a big check. So I was always a fan of NASCAR. It wasn't something I wanted to go pursue, but eventually it became more of a love for me, and now I'm happier than ever to be here. But when I was a fan, starting out, I guess the kid that came in at that time, it was about 01, 02, was Jimmy Johnson, and I just became a big Jimmy Johnson fan, and always has been. He's been a great role model, obviously been very successful. He's a guy that, in my opinion, he, for many years, outworked a lot of the field and definitely put in the effort and determination that a lot of people didn't, and because of that became very successful and became probably one of the best stock car drivers ever. At the same time, somebody obviously that I probably had not the greatest relationship with, but I learned a lot from was Brad Keselowski and being able to learn under him. for 2 years, and being at Penske Racing and obviously driving for his truck team was a great learning experience and something that, I took a lot of things from and being able to apply to my own racing career. And then obviously right now having the ability to learn under Kyle Busch. Obviously Kyle's probably one of the most naturally talented drivers that's ever lived. And no doubt about that, obviously one of the winningest drivers ever in NASCAR. And, he's someone that has a very unique way of looking at things, but it's also a very successful way of looking at things. And I think it's just another notch in, my career of being able to say, okay, here's someone I can learn another avenue of being successful from and hopefully apply those to my own racing career and, go to be able to get to the Cup level.
So you may not remember this, but a couple of years ago, I was at Kentucky Speedway. And you're racing in the ARCA series. I think it was 2009. And before that race, Frank Kimmel, the ARCA legend, he said, you were the next big thing. And then you go on and win the race. So you're kind of put in the spotlight. Your name's kind of out there. And I know with Twitter and all the fan access nowadays, the spotlight can be shown on you really quick. How have you kind of put up with that pressure? How have you kind of dealt with that? If there has been any pressure on you, maybe you don't see it that way, but if you feel any pressure, how have you best been able to put up with that? And has there been anybody you've kind of leaned on for advice in that frame?
That's actually a really good question. At that time, obviously, I was that up-and-comer. I feel like at that time kind of tagged to be very, as they say, the next big thing or however you want to go with that. But I really think, you see a lot of kids that come in and they get that moniker and then it fizzle out and, fall away because they, you either let it get to your head or you let it, you let it define you or let it, when things aren't going perfect, you almost freak out. And I think as myself, my own career, I've been lucky that maybe when I came into NASCAR in 2010 and 2011, I made a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of rookie mistakes. I, probably didn't put in the effort that was needed to really be successful, and, because everything else had come so easy before it. But, and I probably, and definitely was put in positions where I wasn't hopping into top rides. I was hopping into, less than par rides and trying to make it work. And, it's just something that doesn't work exactly to your liking, especially if you expect more than the ride is able to give. But thankfully, there was a lot of people that still believed in me, and over the last, I'd say, year and a half, I'm able to resurrect, a lot of what the mistakes I've made and correct them. And I feel like in the last year, becoming a part of the Toyota family, and as I said, a lot of people that still believe in me, I've been able to, put myself once again, at the forefront of hopefully the kids coming up. And I feel like, this season is kind of my season right here to take all that I've learned and really apply it to an excellent situation and hopefully go out there and prove that, once again, I'm hopefully the top up-and-comer and someone that's, ready to go race on Sundays and go race for a Cup championship.
Kyle Busch Motorsports is, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're a single-car team, right?
Absolutely, yep.
Okay, so we were wondering if that had any effect on Saturday's race. You guys do a little bit more of the tandem-style drafting in the Nationwide Series. You got to work with Alex Bowman, as you mentioned. But how much of an effect did that have on Saturday's race? And then how tough is it in general being a single-car team in the Nationwide Series when you're up against the likes of Joe Gibbs and Junior Motorsports, as you said, where they've got multiple cars?
Well, obviously in Saturday's race, it's a tough thing because having a teammate is just an automatic scratching partner. That's why when I came to Daytona, I tabbed the 99 or Toyota Camry, effectively a Toyota Camry teammate, and Alex Bowman to say, hey, look, we're going to have to work together because he was a rookie, and essentially I'm a rookie in Nationwide. And, I knew a lot of people wouldn't work with us, and sure enough, they didn't. But having Alex and, working with him throughout practice was a great thing, and he did a really great job. And, we worked together all race as best we could. And then with that said, at the same time, I was also able to work with Kyle Larson, the other, another rookie, and he and I worked really well together, taking the lead and leading a lot of laps together and being able to tandem and stay up there against a lot of the top guys. But at the same time, being a single-car team is it's always a little bit tougher. You don't quite have the ability to try different setup options and such. You're put more in a box or put more in a situation where a lot of times you're having to maybe err on the side of caution instead of going for something that might, garner you a little more speed but be a bit more risky because you just haven't had the time to test it. You haven't had the time to work on it. You don't have a teammate to rely to try it, and you try it, and you guys all try different things and get better. So it's a little bit tougher situation, but the great thing about being a part of the Toyota family and TRD is that we get a tremendous amount of resources and help from them. And because of that, we're able to go to teams like the 99 Rap Racing and say, hey, look, we're not quite teammates, but we are the same manufacturer. Maybe we can help each other out. And so that's the way I look at it. For all this Kyle Busch Motorsports, though, we're working day in and day out to effectively limit what we lose from not being a multi-car team, and hopefully, one day Kyle Busch Motorsports will be a multi-car team.
One last question before I let you go. First season in the Nationwide Series, and you get to race some different tracks that maybe you didn't get to go to in the Truck Series. A place like Indianapolis sticks out to me as a big track that you'll get to go to now as part of the Nationwide Series that you didn't get to run maybe last year. So are you looking forward to going to Indy or some of these different places that you get to go here in your first season in the Nationwide Series that maybe you haven't raced yet?
Oh, absolutely. You named one right there. Every time I think about it, it puts a huge smile on my face. That's Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Obviously, ORP or O'Reilly Raceway Park or Indianapolis Raceway Park was an awesome little facility. I raced midgets there for 2 years and just loved that track. And it put on a great race. But for drivers, going to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Brickyard, I mean, it's just it's something that very few have ever done. It's something that, very few ever can say they've raced there, and very few have ever said they've won there. And, go out there and have a chance in the Nationwide Series at 22 years old to go race Indianapolis Motor Speedway is just it's a huge honor. I can't wait. I'm excited about that. On top of that, I'm excited about the road courses. We're getting to go to some of America's best road courses this year in Nationwide Series. Obviously, Road America is an excellent road course, probably one of the best road courses in the world. Mid-Ohio is once again an excellent road course. So Watkins Glen, I mean, they're iconic American road courses that we get to go to and you be the forefront of NASCAR going to road course racing in America, and hopefully resurrect some of these road courses that, as IndyCar and other series have slowly fallen away to the wayside. NASCAR is going out there to hopefully resurrect these great American tracks and bring a lot of exposure to them. So I'm excited about that. And then obviously, overall the schedule at Nationwide is very diverse. It's very cool. It's a very great microcosm of what you'll experience in the Cup Series, but maybe a little bit more flair. And so that excites me. I don't really have anywhere I don't like, so I'm excited to get going. And obviously 32 more races to go. We're excited for each and every one.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us, Parker, and good luck this weekend at Phoenix.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
And Parker.
Yeah.
Do you have a Twitter handle that you want to get out there or anything?
Oh, yeah, sure thing. Follow me at P. Kligerman, and then also on Instagram at P. Kligerman, and then also we have a YouTube channel, P. Kligerman, that we're really putting a ton of content out, and it's going to be very innovative content. I think we're about to do some things that you've never seen before in NASCAR, and, trying to really build that YouTube channel and show people that, that maybe there's a little bit more fun side to the sport than we let you know a lot of times. So tune in there. It's going to be a great time, and hopefully you guys enjoy it.
Good stuff,
Thank you very
Parker.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
That was Parker Kligerman, driver of the number 77 BanditShippers.com Toyota Camry in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, and they're out in Phoenix on Saturday afternoon. This is Adam Niemeyer for CLNSradio.com. I'm your NASCAR contributor, and if you want to follow me on Twitter, my name is at Adam Niemeyer, so it's just my name. My last name is a little difficult to spell. It's Niemeyer. Feel free to follow me. I tweet a little bit about NASCAR, actually a lot, and a little bit about my real job with the University of Cincinnati football program, but you can filter those tweets out. I tweet a lot about NASCAR, and I hope you guys can join me along for the ride. It should be a heck of a season here at CLNS Radio, and we'll be following all the NASCAR coverage throughout the 2013 season.